And how you doing, everyone? This is Reverend Jess Foglesong from Touched by God Church online. Our lesson today is called Jesus was killed as the innocent lamb. You know, God is always with us. And if He wasn't, we would not be here now. We would not exist. It's just simple as that. We should not lose the fact that we are totally attached or tied to our Creator. He chose to salvage us from total annihilation due to sin. He brought us back from death, recreating us and implementing a plan of salvation through a future representative. Adam was first. He placed him in a garden with a new nature and gave him the rules. But Adam, along with Eve, failed. And God was forced to look further into the future. And I believe most of you know the rest of the story of who finally became our true representative, God's Christ, His Son, Jesus. Yes, I said, His Savior, Jesus. And I want to emphasize one thing. The focus all along has not been us. It has been God. God and His government have been accused of breaking His own law by one of His creations, Lucifer, aka Satan. God needed someone to prove His innocence, someone to represent Him in a universal court of law. In a sense, someone to represent Him and at the same time represent mankind. A super lawyer, so to speak. There had been turmoil in the spiritual world. God's government was compromised, and He needed to act fast. He gave a group of created beings, humans, a second chance to live within His kingdom. And because God's government is also based on love and grace, He chose to redeem and salvage mankind anyway. His love is pure, but not at the cost of justice. There had to be a Christ, a Savior of God's government. And by saving His government, He saved humankind as well. So yes, Jesus is our Savior, but most of all, He took part in an experiment conducted by His Father that was totally successful. The will of the Father was implemented under very harsh, difficult conditions, and success was the final outcome. We are the byproduct of God's grace and love, as well as truth and justice. He chose to create us because He simply wanted to. He lost us due to sin caused by Satan. He chose to redeem us through the death of His Son, Jesus. And now we have been freed from the vice of the Prince of Darkness, Satan. Our ransom has been paid in full, fulfilling God's law of righteousness and justice. The verdict is in. God and His government has been vindicated. Vindicated. Yes, Jesus was killed by His own people, allowing Himself to abide by the will of the Father in heaven. Thanks to His sacrifice as the innocent lamb, became the Christ. We are enormously grateful and will never forget God and His wisdom have solved an immense problem. Through Himself becoming a man and interceding into the human stream and emerging triumphant. And all there is now is to await the final order, the harvesting of true believers, you and me, and many, the maturing and ripening of the grain, of the grapes, the bringing in of his new kingdom, a new spiritual Jerusalem. Heaven on earth. All right. We'll stop there in this episode, in this message, and we'll continue on with more. So this is Reverend Jess Foglesong from touchedbygodchurch.com, and we're online also on Facebook, Touched by God Church World Ministries. Stop by and take a look. God's blessing is for you and yours today.